Let's get into the opening statement. It is a doozy. It gets a little psychological, a little philosophical. I apologize for it in advance. The sense of belonging, the feeling of being accepted, valued, connected within a group or community, it's a fundamental human need. It has profound implications for mental and physical well-being. The sense of belonging is a pervasive motivation, driving people to form and maintain lasting, positive interpersonal relationships. It's beyond dispute that humans require frequent, pleasant interactions with other people. Everyone knows this through instinct or experience. Everybody knows how depriving someone of these senses, this sense of belonging, leads to emotional distress, cognitive impairment, and health issues. Abraham Maslow discussed this in his famous hierarchy of needs, where belonging sits third above physiological safety, but below esteem and self-actualization. Maslow's hierarchy of needs states plainly that satisfying belonging allows progression to higher growth needs, fostering motivation and fulfillment. Empirical research underscores its importance for mental health. A strong sense of belonging correlates with reduced loneliness, lower rates of depression and anxiety, greater resilience to stress, and even improved physical health outcomes such as longer life expectancy. Conversely, if you thwart the sense of belonging through isolation or rejection, you have a heightened risk of mental illness, suicidal ideation, and health risk behaviors. Studies show it's protective during transitions like leaving home, entering college, or starting a new job, where belonging uncertainty can undermine performance and persistence. In education and workplaces, belonging boosts motivation, academic achievement, engagement, and productivity. School belonging, for instance, leads to higher grades, lower dropout rates, better social emotional functioning. We as a society saw the importance of the sense of belonging during the COVID-19 pandemic, where diminished belonging exacerbated mental health challenges, heightening its role in coping. Young people in particular are still paying for this global societal experiment in severing human bonds and isolating individuals for months or years at a time. Ultimately, belonging isn't a luxury. It's either an evolutionary or programmed imperative, depending on your worldview. And it is for this reason that the sense of belonging can so easily be weaponized. School children first learn about the power of weaponizing the sense of belonging at a very young and tender age. Bullying and teasing ultimately is nothing more than isolation and exclusion from belonging. And the results are beyond terrifying. School children will do almost anything to find a sense of belonging. They'll defy their deepest morals. They'll turn to drugs and alcohol. They'll completely change their personalities. And if none of that works to create some sense of belonging or bonding with peers, things can turn dark, fatally dark. This weaponization of the sense of belonging doesn't end when children graduate from school. It persists into adulthood. It persists into the workplace, into churches, the community organizations, and our deepest interpersonal relationships. It even exists among perfect strangers. Polish-American psychologist Solomon Asch conducted a famous experiment in the 1950s where a study participant was placed in a study room with a small group of others, typically 3 to 5 other people. Only the single study participant was being studied. The others were actors. They were in the experiment. Each had a role to play. But the sole participant assumed the entire group was unaware of what would happen. The group was shown a line and asked to match its length to one of 3 comparison lines. The study participant typically went last or second to last. At first, the entire group correctly matched the lengths over and over. But the twist in the experiment was that the actors occasionally and intentionally would all pick the wrong line as a match. One by one, they would all select the same incorrect line. The answers on these experimental turns obviously were wrong. The purpose of the study was to see if the sense of belonging was strong enough to force the study participant also to choose the incorrect line. The result was absolutely shocking. 75% of study participants intentionally chose at least one incorrect answer in order to conform to the group. 37% of study participants chose the incorrect answer every single time. Just 25%, just 1 in 4, were able to withstand intense natural impulses to belong to the group and select the correct answer each and every time, even when every other person in the room chose the wrong answer. Just 1 in 4. When debriefed, study participants expressed they chose the wrong answer to avoid disapproval. They wanted to avoid judgment. They didn't want to rock the boat. In some cases, study participants said they genuinely started to doubt their own judgment. They started to believe the group actually was correct, even though their own eyes and brains disagreed with the group. And here's the kicker. The effectiveness of pressuring the study participants to choose the wrong answer collapsed to nearly zero if even one other actor disagreed with the majority who were choosing the wrong answers. In other words, if 4 out of 4 actors chose the wrong answer, then 75% of study participants would disregard their own knowledge and go along with the group. But if even one other actor picked the correct line, the effect on the study participant dropped as low as 5%. It went from 3 in 4 choosing a wrong answer to only 1 in 20 choosing a wrong answer. Stated another way, if there's even one voice of reason in the room, the ability to bully others into ignoring their common sense and accepting incorrect answers becomes nearly impossible. Let's take this out of the 1950s experimental realm and into modern reality. We all lived through COVID. Many of us instinctively knew it was all garbage. The origin story, the masks, the jabs, we knew. In light of the Ash experiment described above, we also know now why there was such an insanely aggressive push to silence every single person who disagreed with the narrative. The ability to force conformity, to force this sense of belonging, relies heavily on making sure no one is objecting, at least not anyone credible.